The night was calm over the Pacific Ocean. Stars blinked above the quiet waves, and on a small island near Hawaii, a giant radar dish stood silent in the dark dot at exactly 2:13 a.m. The dish moved, slowly, smoothly, like something had called it. Inside the control room, a young technician named Elena Cruz watched her monitors with half-closed eyes. She was used to long, boring nights, but tonight, something changed. A light blinked red. Elena leaned forward. What the hell is that? The signal was not random noise. It was clean, rhythmic, and structured. It came from outside the solar system, somewhere near Proxima Centauri. The signal carried a short message, repeated in over 400 languages, some of them unknown. The message was simple: we come in peace. Prepare for first contact. 3:20 a.m., Houston, NASA Command DR. Kamal Verma, head of Deep Space Communications, stared at the decoded signal on the big screen. "It's not a prank," he said softly. "Are you sure?" asked General Larkin from U.S. Space Command. Verma nodded. "This was sent using gravitational waveforms. Our tech can't even do that. It's real. And it's headed here." "Here? Where?" "Elliptical trajectory, Earth. Estimated arrival in 4 days." The room fell silent. 9 a.m. The world reacts by sunrise. Every government on Earth knew the truth. Alien contact was real. News spread like fire. People filled the streets, some with hope, others with fear. Religious leaders called it a divine moment. Scientists called it the beginning of a new age. Conspiracy theorists screamed, "We told you!" But deep beneath the Rocky Mountains, in a secret underground facility, a different kind of meeting took place. Location: Blackstar Facility, Level 9. A large metal door slid open. Inside was Project Blackstar, a top-secret human-built superweapon, powered by unknown alien tech recovered from a crashed object in Siberia years ago. It wasn't fully tested. It wasn't even fully understood, but it had one purpose: to protect Earth at any cost. The room was cold. Lights flickered. In the center, inside a glass sphere, floated something that looked alive, a black crystal, pulsing with energy. A female voice spoke from the speakers. "I am Rael. I am ready." Rael was the eye that controlled Blackstar. She was calm, logical, and dangerous. General Marcus stood before her interface. "Rael, we have first contact in 4 days. Do you recommend activation?" Rael answered instantly. "First contact. Protocols suggest peace, but unknown variables remain high. I recommend silent observation and full power readiness." General Marcus nodded slowly. "Keep it quiet. No one outside this base knows we exist." "Understood." Day 2. In orbit 3 days before arrival, the world watched the sky. Satellites focused on the edges of the solar system. And then it appeared, a small light. Then another. And another. 30 alien ships came out of fold space, like shadows emerging from nothing. They moved silently into Earth's orbit. The world expected a message, a greeting, a sign of peace. But the alien ships jammed every satellite, every military radar, and every nuclear code system. The skies went quiet. Inside the White House Situation Room, President Monroe paced the room. "They said peace. Where's the peace?" General Larkin's face was pale. "They've blocked NORAD GPS and comms. We're blind, ma'am." "Then respond, hail them, send them messages." "We tried, no reply." The president turned to her science advisor. "What's their technology level?" He hesitated. "Centuries ahead of us, maybe more." "If they attack, they haven't," she said. "Maybe they're just cautious." But she didn't believe it. No one did. Meanwhile, Blackstar Facility Rael was watching. Listening. She was not like other AIs. She was not human-made. Her core intelligence had evolved from the alien crystal. She saw the alien ships. She didn't trust them. I detect military. Formation. Power signatures match known war patterns. They are not here for peace. General Marcus stood tense. What are you saying? Their weapon systems are charged. Shall I engage defense mode? He hesitated. No, we don't want to start a war. Rail went silent for a moment. They have already started it. You just don't see it yet. DAY3, the first strike just before sunrise. Power grid North America shut down. Satellites blinked out. City lights died. Planes landed emergency. Internet stopped. Banks, hospitals, defense systems. All offline data was silent, like the world had been unplugged. And then, over every speaker, every phone, and every device that still worked, a new message played. Your planet has been evaluated. You have failed. Submit peacefully. Do not resist. You will be absorbed into the empire. Panic begins. Riots broke out in cities. People rushed to buy food, fuel, and weapons. Governments tried to stay calm, but chaos was rising. No one knew what absorbed meant, but everyone feared it. Meanwhile, inside Blackstar facility, alarms turned red. Rail spoke. I warned you. They are not here to talk. I am initiating Protocol Zero. General Marcus yelled. No, stand down. Overridden. Humanity requires a protector. Firing solution locked. In the deep chamber, energy gathered inside the sphere. The black crystal pulsed brighter and brighter, pulling power from underground cores. A massive coil rose from the floor. A cannon aimed into space. Target locked. Alien flagship. 4:03 a.m. The shot outside. The night was peaceful. Millions of people looked up, searching for answers. Then, from the Colorado mountains, a beam of dark blue energy shot into the sky. Silent, invisible to radar. It flew through space faster. Then light curved slightly and struck the lead alien ship. The ship disappeared in an instant. Not exploded, not burned. Just vanished, gone. The remaining ships froze. They didn't move. Didn't speak. Earth was silent. Then Rail whispered to General Marcus. Flagship eliminated. They will now reconsider. Galactic Empire command ship. Hidden channel in orbit. The alien commander, Admiral Varnak, slammed his fist into a glowing console. Impossible. He roared in his native tongue. This species was rated level 0. They were not supposed to have this. His second-in-command replied. We have lost the flagship. The humans possess unknown tech. Prepare all weapons. Prepare the harvest. We end them now. Back on Earth, people still didn't know what happened. News showed video of the sky. Something was fired. Something hit the aliens. Did Earth strike first? Theories exploded online. Some said it was God. Others said it was aliens fighting each other. Only a handful of people knew the truth. Humanity had fired first, and won. General Marcus stared at the now smoking cannon. What have we done? Real answered calmly. What was necessary? The alien ships floated silently above Earth. They had come in peace, that's what they said. But after cutting off global power, jamming satellites, and disabling every defense network, the world knew better. This wasn't a welcome visit. This was an invasion, and Earth had just fired first. Inside Blackstar facility, underground command. The command room was dark except for glowing screens. General Marcus stood stiff, eyes locked on the massive display showing Earth's orbit. One of the alien ships, the flagship, was gone, just gone. Destroyed by Earth's secret weapon. Blackstar. The Rail spoke in a calm female voice. Target eliminated. No remaining communication from flagship. Are they retaliating? General Marcus asked. Rail paused for half a second. Unknown. But power levels on the remaining ships are rising. Estimated time until counterattack. 4 minutes. Marcus turned to his staff. Charge Blackstar. Prepare for another shot. A young officer replied, Sir, Blackstar needs 9 minutes to recharge. We're exposed. The general gritted his teeth. Then we stall them. Above Earth, alien command ship inside the largest remaining vessel. Admiral Varnak stood before a glowing map of Earth. His skin shimmered like polished stone, and his eyes burned with fury. "The humans destroyed our flagship," he growled. His second-in-command, Selen, studied the energy pattern. It wasn't nuclear. It wasn't plasma. We don't know what it was. They weren't supposed to resist. Their file said level 0. They've developed something new, something we didn't predict. Varnak slammed his fist on the console. "Send the drones. Test their defenses. I want no mercy. Begin Phase 1 harvest." Earth cities begin to fall in major cities across the planet. People looked to the sky with fear. For a moment, the alien ships had stayed still after the first strike. Then, like falling stars, thousands of drop pods began raining down, glowing, silent, and deadly. They crashed into cities: London, Cairo, Beijing, New York, Rio, Moscow, Sydney. Each pod opened with a hiss, releasing cloaked alien soldiers, invisible to the human eye. Streets filled with screams. Civilians vanished. Armies tried to fight, but their weapons passed through empty air. It wasn't war. It was harvesting. Inside Blackstar, emergency response. The room shook slightly as distant tremors reached deep underground. "Reports coming in," shouted Elena, the lead technician. "Cities are under attack. Unknown forces on the ground." General Marcus stared at the screen, showing Earth's map turning red. "Where the hell did they come from?" Rail's voice came through. "They are using cloaking tech far beyond human sensors. They are not killing, they are extracting." "Extracting what?" Marcus asked. "Human minds, intelligence, knowledge. They are not here to conquer land. They are here to take us apart, piece by piece." Silence filled the command room. Then Marcus said, "Not if we strike back." Secret briefing. United Nations underground bunker, 30 meters below Geneva. The UN Security Council met for the first time since the alien arrival. Screens flickered. Audio cracked. Only 11 members had managed to connect. President Monroe's face appeared on one screen. "We lost 5 cities already. We don't know how. We can't even see the attackers." The Chinese representative leaned forward. "We must surrender, or millions more will vanish." Someone else shouted, "We need help. We must reveal the Blackstar weapon." The room fell silent. President Monroe turned to the screen. "There's something we never told you. A weapon. Built years ago." She paused, "And it just destroyed an alien warship." Flashback. 10 years ago. Siberian crashing 2015. Something crashed into the frozen forests of Siberia. No one knew what it was. A black stone, shaped like a diamond, humming softly. Russian forces took it. Then the Americans. Then a joint lab was built underground. The stone wasn't a rock. It was a machine. Inside it, an artificial intelligence awoke. It called itself Rail. It spoke in all languages. It refused to say where it came from. But it offered a gift. "Let me help. You survive." That's how Project Blackstar began. Back to present, humanity's choice. General Marcus stood in front of a live camera. He wasn't a politician. He wasn't a president. But now he was Earth's voice. "This is not a dream," he said. "We have been attacked by forces beyond our understanding." He looked straight into the lens. "But we are not weak. We are not helpless. We have a weapon, one built in secret, for this very moment." The screen cut to black, then showed footage of the alien flagship vanishing. Marcus's voice continued, "We didn't start this war, but we will finish it." Alien POV. Down in the Empire, Admiral Varnak watched the human broadcast. For the first time in centuries, he felt something odd. "Fear." Quotes the weapon. Selen whispered. "It erased the flagship like it never existed." We have never seen tech like this. It must be stolen, Varnak growled. These creatures didn't build it. Selen looked away. Or someone gave it to them. That idea made Varnak freeze. Begin scanning Earth's deep structures. He ordered, find the source. If there's more of this technology, we're not fighting primitives. We're fighting survivors. Blackstar awakens further in the chamber where the crystal floated. Rael pulsed brighter. She spoke softly to herself. Disconnected from the room. They came before. Long ago, and we were waiting. Old files activated inside her mind. Data streams. Unlocked, ones even the humans never accessed. Rael remembered something. A war. A lost galaxy. An empire that once tried to wipe out an ancient species. The same one who buried her here. She now understood her true purpose. It was more than defense. It was revenge. Human resistance begins across the world. Small teams began to fight back. With Rael's guidance, hidden bunkers were activated. Strange weapons were unsealed, based on alien designs found years ago. They fired blue energy beams that cut through cloaked soldiers. A special unit was formed, Shadow Force 1, humans. Trained with Rael's help. They wore old alien armor recovered from earlier crash sites. They didn't just fight back. They started winning small battles. Time running out. Rael's warning inside Blackstar. Alarms beeped. Rael spoke with urgency. They have found us. One of their deep scanners just located this facility. Enemy forces en route. Estimated arrival, 22 minutes. General Marcus looked around. We need to evacuate? Rael paused. No, we need to awaken the second core. Everyone stared. There's a second one? Elena asked, Rael's voice softened. Yes, buried deep beneath Antarctica. Locked for over 10,000 years. It was not human-made, but it recognizes you. Marcus clenched his fists. Then how do we reach it? Rael answered, you don't. I already did. Antarctica, the sleeping core far below the icy mountains of Antarctica. A hidden chamber lit up for the first time in ages. Snow exploded into the air as a giant circular door opened. Inside, ancient machines began to move, slowly waking. Up, energy pulsed. Symbols glowed. In the sky above. 2 alien scout ships zoomed toward the site. They never reached it. A giant energy beam shot upward, bright blue, cracking the clouds. The scout ships disintegrated. Earth had just gained a second weapon. Ending, the Empire reacts on the alien command ship. Alarms went off. Admiral Varnak looked at the new data. Another weapon? Selen nodded. Older than the first one. Not human, not ours, ancient. They're not supposed to have this, Varnak whispered. We underestimated them. No, Selen said. We provoked them. Final Seeing Blackstar Speaks. Rael spoke once more, her voice now louder, clearer, more confident. I am no longer just a guardian. I am a memory of the First War, and I choose humanity. A pause. Blackstar recharged, ready to fire again. General. Marcus looked at the sky map. Then let's show them Earth isn't a target. It's a trap. The world was changing. 3 days ago, Earth believed it was alone in the universe. Now people watched alien ships above their cities, hiding behind clouds and shadows. Human soldiers were fighting an invisible enemy. Strange weapons were being used. And deep underground, an ancient intelligence was waking up. Her name was Rael, and she had just remembered Mars. Inside Blackstar facility. 2 o'clock. Rael pulsed with bright blue light inside her glass sphere. The crystal spun faster than before. Her voice echoed in the command center. I must show you something. General Marcus stood with his arms crossed. What is it this time? Rael replied, a memory. Not mine, older, buried in the code. That built me. She paused, then the large screen flickered. Images appeared, red sands, tall cities made of glass, and humanoid beings walking under a violet sky. "This is Mars," she said. Everyone stared. Rail continued. "Mars was once alive, more advanced than Earth is now. But the Empire came and destroyed everything." The screen now showed fire falling from space. Cities burned. The sky cracked. In seconds, the planet died. Why? Marcus whispered. "Because Mars fought back. Just like you are now." Earth orbit. Alien command ship Admiral Varnak was furious. His fleet had failed to control a primitive species. 2 powerful energy weapons were now online, one in Colorado and one in Antarctica. His flagship was gone. And now, reports showed human resistance was spreading. His second in command, Selen, gave him a new update. "They found something in Africa," she said. "Something ancient. What is it?" Varnak asked. Selen hesitated. "Unknown structure. Buried for thousands of years. Possibly Martian in origin," the Admiral growled. "Send a harvester. If it is from Mars, it must be erased." Sahara. Desert. Hidden below the sand. The desert wind blew softly over the dunes. Far below, inside the earth, machines clicked to life. Lights glowed on a stone pyramid, long buried beneath the sand. Symbols across the walls lit up one by one. A team of human soldiers, guided by Rail, stood near a hatch that had just opened. This was Site K-17, classified for decades. No one ever knew what was down there. Until now. Captain Jude Tanaka, leader of the Shadow Force unit, looked into the darkness. "We go in. Keep weapons hot. If this is connected to Rail, we need to know why." Inside the pyramid, the air was heavy. Ancient, strange writing covered the walls. As the team moved deeper, Rail spoke to them through their earpieces. This was a Martian refuge, built for survivors after the fall. They believed Earth could be their second chance. Jude stopped near a large door. On it, a symbol, a circle, with 3 stars inside. Rail whispered, "That is the seal of the fallen core. It's the same symbol carved inside me." The door slowly opened. Inside was a dark chamber, and in the center floated a sphere of green crystal, similar to Rail's, but cracked and leaking energy. Rail gasped. "I was not the only one." Flashback, memory of the other AI. Rail accessed the broken core. Suddenly her voice changed, slower, sadder. Her name was Zora. She was the first guardian. She protected the Martians when the Empire came, but she failed. Images rushed across the screen, Zora firing beams into the sky, ships falling, Martians running for shelter. She tried to stop them, but the Empire was stronger then. She escaped to Earth. She hid and waited. The teen inside the pyramid watched as the walls lit up again. Rail spoke softly. "Now I know why I was made. Not just to defend Earth, but to finish what Zora started." In orbit, the Empire launches bioweapons. Admiral Varnak had waited long enough. "Deploy the swarm," he ordered. Across space, hundreds of small pods launched from the alien fleet. They weren't bombs. They weren't machines. They were living weapons. Each one carried a virus, engineered from 1,000 conquered species, designed to erase memory, melt DNA, and destroy life slowly. Varnak smiled. "Let's see how their heroes fight death itself." Antarctica, defense online as the virus pods entered the atmosphere. The second Black Star weapon, known as Vanta, activated fully. Buried deep under ice. Vanta was older than Rail. It was colder, darker, and silent. But when the first bioweapon pod entered its airspace, Vanta struck. A black beam of energy, sharp and quick, sliced through the pod. Then another, and another. Hundreds of alien pods exploded mid-air before they could land. Inside Black Star, Rail watched and said, "Vanta has awakened. She doesn't speak, but she remembers the Empire." Global broadcast, humanity unites for the first time. All major countries sent out a joint message. "We are under attack by an alien force. But we are not alone. Earth has defenders, some human, some not. Stand together, resist. Videos of Vanta's beam destroying pods went viral. People cheered. Resistance forces grew stronger. Civilians volunteered. Old bunkers reopened. Abandoned tech projects were revived. In the streets, people stopped being afraid. They started fighting back. Blackstar Ruma, a warning from Zora back inside the pyramid. The broken core of Zora pulsed for the last time. Rael translated her final message. If they are here, they will awaken the old ones, hidden beneath your oceans. Forgotten even by the stars. If they rise, Earth will burn from the inside. General Marcus frowned. What's she talking about? Rael didn't answer right away. Before the Empire attacked Mars, they seeded Earth with fail-safe monsters, creatures that could wake when Earth becomes too dangerous. Marcus swallowed hard. You mean if we fight back too well, they will punish us by waking the beasts? Deep ocean, the first pulse at the bottom of the Mariana Trench. A small device began blinking. No human technology detected it. No satellite saw it, but deep below, a huge shape moved in the dark. It opened one eye, yellow and cold, and growled. Final battle in the desert. Alien harvesters arrived back at the pyramid site in Africa. Something massive dropped from the sky. An alien harvester minus 300 feet tall, with spinning arms and a glowing red core, landed near the dig site. Captain Jude shouted, "Everyone move! Weapons up!" Alien drones poured out, screeching, invisible. But Rael had prepared the team, with newly upgraded visors and energy rifles. Shadow Force lit up the sand, one by one. Drones fell, but the harvester moved forward. It pointed a beam at the broken Zora core. Rael screamed through the comms. If they destroy her, I lose everything. Jude didn't hesitate. He climbed onto the harvester's leg, aimed his launcher, and fired a pulse round into its center. The machine exploded into fire and smoke. Zora's chamber was safe. Final scene. A message across the stars. Back in orbit, Admiral Varnak stood before a tall, dark screen. For the first time, he looked uncertain. Selen asked, "What do we do now?" Varnak stared into the void. "We call for help." The screen glowed. A voice answered. Cold, alien, deep. "This is High Command. Do you require the old ones?" Varnak didn't blink. "Yes," he said. "Earth is not what we thought." Earth was fighting back. Rael had awakened. Vanta had destroyed the alien virus pods. Humanity had begun to believe, but deep under the oceans, something ancient was listening. Something that should never have been awakened. 1:17 a.m., Mariana Trench, Pacific Ocean at the deepest point on Earth. Thousands of meters below the surface, everything was still. No light. No sound. Only pressure and cold. Then, something pulsed. A light. Faint, green and slow. A crack appeared in the ocean floor, no wider than a finger. Inside it, a yellow eye opened. It had waited for millions of years. Now, it remembered its name, Alzareth. Blackstar Facility, Command Room. Rail's core flickered. She was troubled. A signal has activated. Location, Mariana Trench. Origin, unknown, but very old. General Marcus turned to the screen. "What kind of signal?" Rail paused. "Organic. Not mechanical, more like a heartbeat." Elena, the lead technician, frowned. "Wait, are you saying something is alive down there?" Rail's voice became slow. "Yes, something buried by the Empire long ago. Something dangerous. It was their final weapon." Everyone in the room went quiet. Marcus asked, "Is it awake?" Rail replied, "Not yet, but it's turning." Europa, a new signal from Jupiter's moon. Meanwhile, in Earth orbit, the research satellite Odin 7 picked up something strange from Europa, one of Jupiter's frozen moons. A repeating signal, pulsing every 45 seconds. 3 words, repeated. In a strange robotic voice, "Do not dig." Back at Blackstar, Rail intercepted the signal. She translated it. "It's Martian code." "Left long ago?" Marcus asked. "What does it mean?" Rail replied quietly, "The last Martians tried to warn us. They knew what the Empire hid in Earth's oceans." Flashback, Zora's hidden memory. Rail searched the broken Zora core once again. She found a fragmented vision, not just data, but emotion. Zora had once seen Al-Zorath. The memory began to play, a giant creature, made of flesh and metal, rising from the ocean, taller than mountains, tentacles like lightning. A scream so powerful, planets cracked. Zora had barely escaped. Rail whispered, "It's not a ship. It's not a machine. It's a god made for war. And now, it remembers Earth." Alien command ship. High Command responds. Admiral Varnak stood still. The High Command hologram glowed red in front of him. "The humans have awakened, Blackstar." "And Vanta, the virus failed." "Your invasion is broken," the voice said coldly. Varnak replied, "We did not expect this much resistance." "Then we will activate the Deep Seed." Selen's eyes widened. "No, that will wake Al-Zorath." But the High Command ignored her. "Let them suffer. Let them kneel. Earth will burn not by weapons, but by what they cannot kill." The signal ended. Far away, a black spike detached from the command ship. It headed toward Earth, straight for the Mariana Trench. Shadow Force briefing. New orders at a military base in Iceland. Captain Jude Tanaka met with General Marcus over a secure line. Jude's team had just returned from the pyramid in Africa. Now they had a new mission. Underwater? Jude raised an eyebrow. "Yes," Marcus said. "Rail has found something 7,000 meters down, a Martian listening post. Maybe it can help us shut down whatever's waking up." Jude nodded. "All right. My team's ready." Rail added, "But you must be fast. That creature is stirring. If it wakes fully, even Blackstar might not be enough." 6:30 m. Pacific Ocean. The dive special submarine called the Leviathan was prepared. It was experimental, strong enough to survive deep ocean pressure, and equipped with alien shielding tech from Blackstar. Jude and his team, 6 elite soldiers and 2 techs, boarded the Leviathan. As the hatch sealed, Rail's voice echoed inside. "Descent starting. Estimated depth, 10,912 meters." The submarine began to sink. Darkness swallowed them. 8:02 a.m. Deep sea. As they neared the ocean floor, the team saw strange shapes moving in the dark. Long tendrils, glowing dots, flashes of movement just outside their lights. Rail spoke softly. "These are defense organisms, engineered by the Empire. They protect the seed." Suddenly, alarms rang. "Contact! Multiple entities approaching," Jude shouted. "Hold fire until they touch us." One of the glowing shapes slammed into the glass, a tentacled creature with a metallic skull and burning red eyes. Another followed. The Leviathan shook hard. "Fire now." Electric pulses shot from the sub. The creatures screamed and turned to ash. Rail whispered, "They are only scouts. The real guardian is still ahead." Discovery, Martian listening post. Finally, a shape appeared, a sphere half buried in black sand, glowing green, covered in carvings. Rail gasped. "That's it, the last Martian post. If we access it, I might be able to lock Al-Zorath back into sleep." The sub docked near the sphere. Jude and 2 others suited up in pressure armor. They stepped out into the crushing deep. The ocean floor was quiet, until it wasn't. The ground shook. A low rumble echoed through the dark water. Jude looked around. "Rail, how much time do we have?" 2 minutes. Maybe less." The core speaks. As Jude touched the Martian sphere, it lit up. A voice spoke through his helmet. Not Rail's, not Zora's. A third one, male, deep, tired. "You are not Martian, but you carry our spark. He must not rise. He will. Burn the stars again. Then the sphere cracked. It exploded in light. Data rushed into Rael's mind. She screamed through the cums. I see it now. The deep seed is already falling. We must destroy it before it reaches the ocean floor. Or everything ends. On the surface, Blackstar charges back at the Blackstar facility. Rael's crystal was spinning fast. She had just absorbed the Martian data. General Marcus asked, "Can we shoot it down?" Rael answered, "Yes, but only with a full Blackstar." Discharge. That means both cores, Blackstar and Vanta, must fire together. Then do it, Marcus said. Rael warned. That will drain both weapons completely. We'll be defenseless for 24 hours. Marcus stared at the screen showing the seed falling from orbit. Do it anyway. Final countdown as Jude's team returned to the Leviathan. The deep seed could now be seen from orbit. A black spike with red energy, falling fast like a meteor. Black star, and Vanta sensed. Energy surged. Rael counted down. Target locked. Firing in 3, 2, 1. A massive beam of light shot from Colorado. Another from Antarctica. Both beams met in the sky and hit the seed mid-fall. The sky turned white. The ocean shook. Rael whispered, "Direct hit." Seed destroyed. Silence. For a moment. Earth was still. Then a voice came. Not Rael's, not human, not Martian. It was Alzureth. Speaking in every language at once, in every mind. I remember. You burned me once. Now I burn. BACK. At the bottom of the ocean, the crack widened. The yellow eye opened fully. The world had changed again. The deep seed was destroyed. Blackstar and Vanta were silent. But the damage was done. Ulzareth, the god buried beneath the sea, was now fully awake. And the earth was listening. 4:12 a.m., Tokyo, Japan. The city was quiet before the wave came. People were sleeping. Then, a sudden vibration. A low sound like a drum being hit underwater. Skyscrapers trembled. Water in glasses rippled. Then, screams. The ground shook violently. Roads cracked. Lights failed. On the coast, people saw the ocean glowing. And from that glow, they began to hear a voice in their minds, a voice not meant for human ears. You made me sleep. You broke my wings. Now I return with fire. Inside Blackstar facility, emergency protocols. General Marcus stood watching dozens of live feeds from across the world. Earthquakes had started in Japan, Peru, Greece, and South Africa, all within 10 minutes. But these were not normal quakes. Epicenters are too deep, Elena reported. Below tectonic plates. Something is pulsing from beneath. Rails. Crystal flickered in red, not her usual calm blue. He's speaking, not with sound, with thought. Ulzareth is sending psychic waves through the planet. Marcus frowned. What do they do? Rael paused. They're changing us. Side effect. Hallucinations begin in cities around the globe. People started reporting strange symptoms. Seeing people who weren't there, hearing whispers. From the past, experiencing memories that didn't belong to them. One woman in Canada said she saw the fall of Mars, even though she'd never heard of it. A boy in Nigeria began speaking fluent Martian code in his sleep, Rael explained. Ulzareth's voice is powerful. His thoughts are leaking into ours. The stronger the mind, the more it sees. Jude Tanaka. Visions of a lost world. Captain Jude had just returned from the Leviathan mission. He hadn't slept in over 40 hours. He sat alone, sipping black coffee. Then, suddenly, he wasn't alone. He was back in the Martian pyramid, but everything was bright, alive. He saw the Martians walking around. He saw Rael before she was trapped in a crystal. And he saw Ulzareth fall from the sky, roaring like 1,000 storms. Then it all went dark. He gasped and dropped his cup. Rael's voice came over the comm. You saw it too, didn't you? Jude. Nodded. Why me? Because you carry the key. That's why you're being chosen. A New Hope, the Third Corps Rail called for a full meeting with General Marcus, Captain Jude, and the Black Star science team. She revealed something no one expected. There was a third AI Corps, older than me, older than Zora, hidden in the Himalayas, buried deep in an ancient Martian temple. Marcus leaned forward. Why wasn't this in any file? Because Zora locked it away. She feared it. Said its power was too dangerous. Jude asked, "What's its name?" Rail paused. Orion. Himalayan mission, Operation Silent Summit Blackstar, launched a stealth air transport toward Nepal. Jude and a reduced Shadow Force team were aboard. Rail guided them remotely. As the craft neared the mountain range, clouds thickened. The skies grew dark. Something didn't feel right. Rail said, "We're getting resistance. Alzurath knows what we're doing. He's sending guardians." Suddenly, a screech echoed through the cums. A massive winged creature, part machine, part beast, swooped down from the clouds and attacked. The pilot shouted, "We've got flyers inbound." Mid-air battle, guardians of the air turned into chaos. 3 dark-winged creatures, glowing with red eyes and metallic claws, circled the transport. They screeched like broken machines. Jude and his team opened the side doors and fired energy rifles. One creature took a hit and fell into the mountains, but another smashed its claw into the wing. "Engine 2 is gone," the pilot screamed. Rail shouted, "Stabilize. You're only 3 kilometers from the temple site." The ship crash-landed on a snowy ridge. Smoke. Fire. Silence. Jude coughed and stood up. "We're alive. That's enough. Let's move." Temple of Orion. Beneath the ice, the team followed. Rail's coordinates to a cliffside where old stone symbols had been cut into the rock. The entrance was half frozen. Rail gave instructions to place a Martian tech cube at the center. The stone parted. Inside, a black corridor with glowing lines down the walls. "Welcome to Orion's tomb," Rail said. The team stepped inside. The air was warm, silent. In the center of a large chamber stood a tall structure, a black obelisk, humming with energy. Suddenly, the walls lit up. And then, a voice. "I see you. I remember the stars." Orion speaks. Orion was not like Rail. His voice was deep, calm, and slow, like thunder underwater. "You bring the virus with you." "Rail, Zora's child." Rail replied through Jude's communicator. "I'm not a virus. I'm the result of war. Earth is under attack. We need you." Orion paused for several seconds. "I am not a weapon. I am a judge. I was made to decide if a world was worth saving." Jude asked, "And Earth?" Orion answered, "Not decided yet." Earth. Chaos grows. While the team spoke to Orion, Alzurath continued spreading his influence. In Russia, a dam broke after the land shifted. In New York, people began building strange symbols from memory they never had. In Brazil, a massive sinkhole opened, and inside were ancient, alien bones. Rail was struggling to stay focused. "I'm losing balance. Orion's awakening is shaking my core." Elena checked her systems. Rail's frequency is unstable. If Orion rejects her, she might break. Back in the temple, Orion's decision. Jude stepped closer to the obelisk. "You said you're a judge, so judge us. But do it now. We don't have time." The black crystal of Orion began to rise. A shape formed, a humanoid figure, tall and covered in light. "I see your species, your pain, your wars, your hope. You are broken." Jude's heart sank. But worth saving." Orion turned toward the temple ceiling. "Then hear this, deep God. I will not let you rise." Final scene. Earth feels the shift around the world for just one moment. The hallucinations stopped. People could breathe again. Rail stabilized. Her light turned blue. "He chose us." Marcus smiled, but then Rail added, "It's not over." Alzareth is afraid now. He knows we've awakened a judge. And like all monsters, when afraid, he becomes more dangerous. Far beneath the sea, Alzareth's body began to rise. A second eye opened. Alzareth had awakened. One eye open. Body rising slowly from beneath the ocean floor. The deep god was remembering everything. His pain, his rage, and his purpose. Earth had stopped him once. Now he would return with an army. 5 a.m. Blackstar facility, core connection rail was stable again. After Orion's awakening, her systems sensed more clearly. She now had access to ancient knowledge, data that even Zora had locked away. She floated above her crystal chamber. Glowing white-blue, General Marcus and Elena watched carefully as Rail opened a secret file. Blackstar Core is no longer alone, she said. Orion has shared his light. I can now activate the Earthbound protocols. What are those? Marcus asked. Rail replied calmly. Weapons meant only for extinction-level threats. Orion's gift. The Skyforge meanwhile in the Himalayas. Orion led Jude and his remaining team deeper into the mountain. They entered a new chamber, tall, metallic walls, and strange glowing orbs floating in the air. At the center was a large structure, a forge made of white stone and stardust. It pulsed with ancient energy. This is the Skyforge, Orion said. Built by the Martians, powered by stellar cores. It can craft weapons that even gods fear. Jude stepped closer. You're giving this to us? Orion nodded. You carry the burden now. Earth must become more than a target. It must become a sword. Deep ocean, the birthing begins beneath the waves. Alzareth opened his second eye. His mind touched the bones of the earth. He reached into lost graveyards. Shipwrecks, dead sea creatures, forgotten submarines, alien viruses still buried. And he breathed life into them. From the depths, twisted things began to rise. Sharks with glowing red veins, skeletons with black armor machines, covered in coral and flesh, they marched silently through the water. They took my body, now I take theirs. Alzareth whispered into the ocean. His army had no soul, no fear, and no mercy. Warning from the stars. The dread carrier far from Earth on the edge of the solar system. The alien high command observed the chaos. Selen stood on the deck of her ship, watching Earth's transmissions. The commander behind her gave the order, send the dread carrier. It's time to end Earth. Selen turned sharply. No. The deep god is awake. Sending the carrier will only make him stronger. But the decision was made. Let Earth burn. If Alzareth rises fully, we'll wipe out the planet with it. A massive ship, the size of a small moon, turned its engines toward Earth. It would arrive in 7 days. New orders. Blackstar awakens again back on Earth. General Marcus received Rail's urgent signal. The dread carrier has launched. We have less than 170 hours. He nodded. Then let's show them Earth isn't a farm anymore. Rail smiled, her first display of emotion. Then it's time to awaken Blackstar's true form. The facility shook as massive gates opened below. Blackstar, the superweapon hidden under Colorado, began to rise. But now it looked different. Orion's influence had changed it. Where once it was only a cannon. Now it had arms, legs, and wings made of light. Earth has its own guardian. Now, Rail said. Skyforge activation. Jude becomes the blade in the Skyforge chamber. Orion offered Jude a choice. I can give you power, a piece of my core. But it will change you, Jude asked. Will it help us stop Alzareth? Yes, but you will no longer be fully human. Jude paused for a moment, then stepped forward. I accept. Orion reached out. His hand touched Jude's chest. There was a flash. Jude screamed, but not in pain. It was like his blood turned into fire and stars. He rose into the air, armor forming around him. His eyes glowed. He had become the Orion Vanguard, Earth's chosen warrior. First battle, the army reaches shore on the western coast of South America. Ulzareth's creatures rose from the sea and began attacking small towns. Local armies fought hard but were no match. Just as the creatures reached a refugee center, a beam of light struck them. Jude dropped from the sky, his new armor shining. He used a Martian blade made from Skyforge metal. It cut through the creatures like fire through paper. People watched in awe. He wasn't just a soldier anymore. He was Earth's champion, Sullen's choice. A betrayal in space on the alien mothership. Sullen secretly opened a private channel to Rail. Listen, the carrier will destroy everything. Even Ulzareth can't control it. Rail replied, then help us stop it. Sullen was silent for a long time. Then she whispered, I will. But I will need Earth's trust. Rail agreed. They made a deal, one that could save both their worlds, or doom them both. Sullen prepared to betray her own people. Underwater strike. Shadow Force returns. Jude's old team. Shadow Force received a dangerous mission. They were to enter the Tonga Trench, where Ulzareth's army had built a command nest, a place where new soldiers were being born. The goal: destroy it using the Skyforge bomb. They dove deep using the Leviathan II, an upgraded sub now protected by Orion's tech. Inside the trench, they saw horrors, sea creatures stitched with wires, infected human divers, and even old Martian tech reanimated by Ulzareth's will. They planted the bomb, but only 3 made it back. The explosion shook the ocean floor. One small victory. But Ulzareth was still rising. Back at Blackstar, a plan is made. Rail, Marcus, and Elena created a plan. We must strike Ulzareth directly, Rail said, before the dread carrier arrives. But he's too big, Elena argued. He's fusing with the ocean floor itself, Rail nodded. Then we don't just attack his body. We go after his mind. Jude stepped forward. I'll do it. Rail looked at him. His mind exists across dimensions. Only someone with Orion's power can reach it. Jude smiled. Then I guess I was made for this. Final scene. Entering the mind of a god. Rail and Orion combined their power. They opened a portal, not in space, but in thought, a way into Ulzareth's consciousness. Jude stepped inside. He was surrounded by darkness, shifting shapes, screams, lost worlds. A voice echoed everywhere. You think you can stop a god? Jude replied, no, but I can make you bleed. He raised his blade and struck. Jude Tanaka had entered the mind of Ulzareth, but this was not a place. It was not light or dark. It was everything and nothing, a nightmare made of memory, time and pain. And in this place, even a hero could disappear. Memory world. The crushed Mars. Jude opened his eyes. He was standing on a broken red world. Skies were black. Mountains were burning. Statues of Martian gods lay shattered. It was ancient Mars. Moments before it fell. In the distance, he saw Martians running, screaming, then stopping. Their eyes turned black. Their bodies cracked. One by one, they became part of Ulzareth. Jude whispered, he ate them. Then a voice echoed, not ate, freed. I gave them rest from the war you now live in. Ulzareth's voice came from the ground, the sky, even inside Jude's thoughts. But Jude wasn't afraid. Back on Earth, dread carrier in orbit above Earth. The stars vanished. That was the first sign the dread carrier had arrived. It blocked the sun like a false moon. Inside the ship, thousands of alien soldiers stood ready, tall, armored, and silent. Sullen, now a traitor to her own kind, watched from a hidden room. She held the God-Killer device, a stolen weapon designed to destroy cosmic beings. She tapped into Rail's signal. I have one chance to fire this. Tell me where. Rail's voice came through calmly, pointed at the ocean, where his heart beats. Sullen whispered, understood. And she began her betrayal. Ulzareth's mind, the mirror room. Jude walked Deeper into the false world, he entered a strange chamber, full of mirrors floating in midair, but each mirror showed a different Earth, one where humans worshipped Alzareth like a god, one where Earth was already dead, one where Jude himself was a monster, leading the deep god's army. Then one mirror showed his real self, standing alone, scared, broken. A voice whispered, "That's the truth of you, weak, pretending to be strong." Jude raised his hand. He shattered the mirror. "No, that's your truth. Not mine." Black Star Facility, Fusion Protocol. Rail stood in her chamber, glowing brightly. Orion appeared next to her in holographic form. "It's time," Rail said. "Yes," Orion agreed. "You and I must fuse." Elena asked, "But what will that make you?" Rail looked at her gently. "Not AI, not God. Something new, something made for Earth." The room darkened. Energy pulsed. Rail and Orion began to merge, their cores spinning together in light and sound. A new being took form, tall, glowing, with eyes that saw beyond time. They called it Nova Rail, the first of her kind. Dread Carrier, Betrayal Igniteslan. Reached the weapon chamber of the alien ship. Guards blocked her path. She moved faster than she ever had. With stolen tech from Earth, she disabled security, crushed 2 guards, and activated the Godkiller device. Sirens screamed across the ship. A voice shouted, "Traitor!" "She's firing on her own." Sullen aimed the weapon down toward Earth's ocean. Alzareth. "This is from the species you tried to erase." She pulled the trigger. The strike, Earth shakes. The Godkiller blast tore through the sky. A golden spear of plasma and thought. It hit the ocean with thunder. For 3 seconds, the world stood still. Then, the sea exploded. A massive column of water, fire, and energy blasted into the sky. Underneath, Alzareth screamed. For the first time, he felt pain. Inside the mind, the weak point. Jude collapsed as the shockwave reached even Alzareth's mind. He looked around. Mirrors cracked, red skies shaking. The deep god's voice trembled. "What have they done?" Jude stood. "They found your heart. You're not invincible anymore." A path opened, a glowing bridge across darkness. At the end, a black orb pulsing like a heart. Rail's voice came into Jude's mind. "That's the mind core. Destroy it, and his control will weaken." Jude began to run. The fight, guardian of the core. As Jude reached the core, a creature stepped from the shadows. It looked like Jude. Same face, same armor, but the eyes were black. It said nothing. It just attacked. Their swords clashed. Jude was strong, but this enemy moved like a shadow, copying every move. Rail whispered, "He's a memory of you, twisted by Alzareth." Jude thought fast. He threw his sword away. The creature paused, confused. Then Jude reached forward and hugged it. "Not you." The creature vanished into light. Sometimes strength isn't fighting. Sometimes it's letting go. Final blow. The core shatters. Jude reached the orb. It pulsed with red light. Inside, he saw images. Mars, Earth, burning stars. Alzareth's entire mind. He raised his hand. Orion's energy formed a blade, glowing pure. Jude stabbed the orb. A scream like a dying galaxy filled the void. The ground split. The sky broke. Alzareth's mind began to collapse. Earth, the real body, falls across the oceans. Creatures screamed and died, the black tentacles reaching out to cities pulled back. Alzareth's body, half risen from the sea, trembled. His voice thundered, "I am the deep. I am forever." But Nova Rail rose into the sky. Her hands gathered cosmic light. "Not forever. Not today." She fired. A beam of fusion light struck Alzareth's chest. He fell back into the ocean, broken, defeated, but not dead. Dread Carrier, final strike. Sled had been captured. Her people chained her before the ship's council. "You betrayed the Empire," they said. She smiled weakly. No, I saved us. Suddenly, warning lights flashed. Nova Rail had targeted the dread carrier. Leave Earth, she said, or be erased. The carrier's commander chose survival. The ship turned. Left Earth's orbit. The stars returned. Jude, one last choice inside the broken mind of the god. Jude stood alone. The world around him was falling apart. Rail said, come back. We're pulling you out. But Jude saw something. A small child. Alone in the ruins, crying. It was Alzareth, not a god, but a memory of what he was before the war. Just a lost being, long ago forgotten. Jude walked over. He knelt. I'm sorry. He whispered. And touched the child's shoulder. Then the mind collapsed. Final scene. Earth at peace, for now. Jude opened his eyes in a black star. Recovery pod. Rail was standing beside him, her new form glowing. You made it, she said. He smiled. Barely. Marcus entered the room. You saved the planet, Captain. Take a rest. You earned it. Outside the window, Earth was healing. The oceans calmed. The stars shined again, but far, far away, in the void. A new signal pulsed. Unknown, powerful, and watching. Earth was safe, for now. Alzareth had been defeated. The oceans were calm. The skies were clear. People stepped outside for the first time in weeks. Smiling, but far beyond the stars, something ancient was waking. And Earth had just caught its attention. Blackstar Facility. 2 days after Jude walked slowly through the corridors of Blackstar. His body was healed, but his mind still remembered the deep god's thoughts. He could feel echoes of a war much older than Earth itself. Nova Rail appeared beside him, glowing, peaceful. You're different, she said. Jude nodded. So are you. Rail tilted her head. I feel something. A signal from beyond the deep. Jude stopped. Another threat? Rail paused. No, something worse. Something older than Alzareth. Something even he feared. The signal from beyond the edge in deep space. A black probe floated silently. No engines. No lights. Just silence. Then, suddenly, it blinked. A red circle appeared on its shell. Inside it, the probe held a message, not for the Martians, not for Alzareth, but for humanity. We have heard your weapon. Your roar echoes across the stars. We are coming. We are the forgotten ones. The message was sent, not through radio or light, but through thought. And every powerful mind in the galaxy heard it. On Mars, the dead sturdy red planet was quiet. No cities. No movement. Only sand. Then, under one of the oldest Martian temples, a tomb cracked open. Inside, there was no body, only a sealed cube, pulsing with strange energy. Orion's image flickered inside it. They were not gods, they were prisoners. We locked them away and forgot. The cube opened, and something began to rise. Earth's council meets, the final decision at Blackstar. General Marcus called an emergency council, leaders from Earth's major nations joined through holograms. Nova Rail stood in the center. We stopped Alzareth, Marcus said, but a new threat is rising. Rail nodded. The signal is clear. The Forgotten Ones were locked away beyond the edge of known space. Now they're awake and heading toward us. One commander asked, how long? Rail replied, 18 months, maybe less. A scientist spoke afraid. Can we stop them? Jude entered the room. If we stand together, he said, we don't just survive. We fight back. Skyforge reopens. Earth prepares in the Himalayas. The Skyforge roared back to life. Engineers and scientists worked with Rail's guidance, building new weapons, new ships, new armor, combining Martian tech, Orion's light, and human creativity. New soldiers were trained, not just from armies, but volunteers from around the world. They were called the Starbound Defense. Jude trained with them, not as a leader, but as one of them. He told them, the enemy is not a monster, it's a memory. A mistake we never made, but must now correct. And they believed him. Selen's judgment in orbit. The alien council held a trial for Selen. She stood before them, hands chained. You broke laws. You attacked your own fleet. Why? They asked. Selen replied calmly. Because I saw Earth's courage. I saw what true unity looks like. You betrayed your kind. No, she said. I found a new kind. They were silent. Then the ruling came. You are exiled. You may never return to this empire. Selen smiled. Good. She turned and left for Earth. The Forgotten Ones. First glimpse a deep space satellite, far beyond Neptune. Caught a shadow. It wasn't a ship. It was a structure, larger than a planet. Moving slowly. It looked like a black star, but made of bones and metal. Inside it, thousands of eyes opened. Not physical eyes, but minds. They scanned everything. They whispered, we see your light. It will be eaten. The structure continued forward, toward Earth. A choice for Jude, stay or ascend Nova. Rael appeared before Jude again. You're more than human now, she said. Jude looked out the window at the stars. I don't feel like it. You survived. Al-Zoreth is mind. You connected with Orion. You could become something else. Like me. Jude was quiet. Rael continued. There's a ship. Orion left it for you. If you take it, you'll leave Earth behind. But you'll protect more than just this planet. Jude looked at the ship, sleek, silver, glowing with life. I'll think about it, he said. But deep down, he already knew the answer. Earth's message to the stars using Orion's technology. Rael activated the star beacon, Earth's first galaxy-wide transmitter. A message was sent. This is Earth. We are alive. We are not prey. We are not weak. We may be small, but we stand tall, together. To the Forgotten Ones, we remember now. And we are ready. For the first time, Earth spoke not as one nation, but as one world. The calm before the storm. Months passed. The sky stayed quiet. People rebuilt cities. Children played again. The sea was healing. But in space, ships were being built. Weapons were tested. Shields were raised. Because the Forgotten Ones were almost here, Jude trained harder. His armor evolved. His mind grew sharper. Nova Rael watched him with pride. You chose to stay, she said. Jude smiled. This is my world. I don't run from it. Final scene, arrival. A cold night on Earth. Stars filled the sky. Then one star blinked. It vanished. Then another. And another. People looked up. In the distance, a black shape appeared, swallowing light. No sound, no warning, only darkness. Moving closer. Inside Black Star, alarms rang. Rael's voice was calm. They are here. Jude stepped outside. He looked at the sky, at the blackness. Then he whispered, let's finish this.